start the meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Roll call. Paul Cassidy.
Here.
Tanya Hogan. Here. Beverly Rose, absent, excused. John DeBoyer, absent, excused. Mark Bouchard.
Here.
Roy Martin.
Here.
Sarah Clemens.
Here.
Okay, we'll go to public comments on an agenda item. Anybody that has a comment on an agenda item?
Good evening, Bob Coombs, 5643 South Channel. I'm here on the Algae Wheel project. We started this 4 years ago next month. Bruce and I and our families started to make a plan to come up with a wastewater project on the island. As of right now, there's a design by PCE that has its shortcomings. It's over-designed for what we need. It's designed to handle 25,000 gallons a day. It's designed to go up to 50,000 gallons a day. But then it has a minimum. It has to get at least 15,000 gallons a day to operate. The original intent of this was to do downtown Sans Souci and the 10 businesses that are there to help revitalize the town. Looking at the usage, the bar is the highest user. It produces, in the winter, on a slow day, we produce 200 gallons a day. On our highest usage, which is Labor Day weekend, we get to 2,000 gallons a day. There is a huge disparity in what we were trying to get done, or the township was trying to get done, and our need. Somewhere it didn't get connected. So what we're asking is that we go back to the smaller format. We have a engineering firm that is willing to do the engineering. We have a general contractor who's willing to supervise the project. Algae Wheel is willing to redesign their equipment that was ordered from them to meet the needs of the town that is scalable. And then DVM would do all the installation and underground work. So every component is in place, and all these people know of the budget, know what's left, and are willing to get it done for what's left. So what we're asking for is that the township move forward. You know, why we as the citizens are trying to fix this, I am unsure. But there is a lot of people here supporting us. I have here for you 30 more letters of support that came today. So we have a lot of support. I think we all have the desire to accomplish this project. So what we're asking for is, let's please move ahead and find a path to do it. Thank you.
I have a question. How many tap-ins are you going to do in a smaller scale?
Well, hey, excuse me.
There's other public comment. Okay, we'll move on to bills payable.
Oh, someone was trying to.
Someone coming.
I'm Dave Sluka from 133 Poplar on the island, and I just wanted to show that there's a lot of support for this project, that when we were without the bar for a number of years, that property values stagnated, and that people wouldn't come to the island because there was no gathering place. That the bar is a gathering place on the island, not just for residents, but also for summer residents, also for guests. Without it, there's no place for people to meet, to gather, to talk, to have a meeting place. And it's something that, without that bar, property values will go down, that people won't be able to, a lot of people will say, why do I go there? Yeah, we have the river, and we have, the natural resources that we have. But you need to have a gathering place, and the bar in downtown San Souci is our gathering place. And I just want to show our support for that. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Good evening, everybody. Brandon Kirsten, 65 Macomb Place, Mount Clemens. We are property owners in downtown San Souci at the Landing. We are also the contracting firm, the general contractor that would be overseeing the project for all of its course to get done and, revive the downtown district. So we would really like you guys to move forward with approving this and getting this taken care of for us so that all the businesses and people in the downtown district can thrive and, get some motivation and traction back to the island.
Can you
Thank
tell
you.
me the name of your firm again? Sorry.
Garland Construction?
Garling?
Yeah, Garland.
Garland. Thank you.
Christine Holcomb, 1202 Gore Drive, Harson's Island, and I'm also here as a resident and on behalf of SS Downtown Inc. in support of the Algae Wheel. Our group has been behind this from day one, and if you look at the downtown, if this doesn't happen, what's the alternative for these businesses? Because one by one, they're going to disappear, and there won't be a downtown anymore. Because Eagle's not willing to do septics anymore. These people are willing to do everything, and all they need is your help. Please help them. Thank you.
Anyone else? Oh, come on up.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Scott Ruark. I'm an attorney with O'Reilly Rancilio. I'm here on behalf of my boss, Lawrence Scott, who I believe some of you personally and professionally know. We would just like to voice our support for continuing this Algae Wheel project. This has been going on for 4 years now. It's my understanding that there has been talks about bringing in a new engineer to help oversee and manage this project, and we would like to voice our support for that. We stand with the business owners. They've provided, I believe, 30-plus letters of support from residents on Harson's Island to continue this project, and we just wanted to let you know that our firm is here. If there is any questions that want to be directed our way, we'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Thank you.
There's no other public comment. We'll go to bills payable. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion for bills payable, amount of $2,223,000,
Support.
Any discussion? We'll do a roll call.
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Roy Martin?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
We'll move to supervisor's report, which I will refrain from because I want to discuss, I'll spend time on the Algae Wheel. And so we'll move on to consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Reports board approved, February 9th, 26, in between meetings. Township board meeting minutes from February 9th, 2026, and the DPW drinking water certification license for $70 each out of GL 591000960.00.
I'll second.
In discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll move to new business. The PD annual SCBA flow testing that is sought testing for $2,170 on GL 206-000-76500.
And I'll support that, but it was supposed to be fire department, I believe. You said
That's
PD.
for the
I just
fire
wanted to correct
department.
that.
Yes.
All right.
Self-contained breathing apparatuses. Okay.
Is that a motion?
You have a motion?
We got a motion. There's a chief in the background. I don't know if he wants to come up or not.
Who made the motion?
I think Paul was reading
I think Paul
from
made the motion inadvertently.
And I had support.
Okay. I just
So,
got to get it right.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have the PD annual Motorola service agreement.
I make a motion to approve the police department Motorola service agreement for $8,938.54 out of account number 207-000-932.00.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? We'll do roll call.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Roy Martin?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
And then we'll go to 1C, the annual township share of the library is $5,000. Do we have a motion?
I will make a motion to approve the annual township share for the library of $5,000 out of GL 101-790-965.
Support.
All right, discussion, any? We'll do roll call.
Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Roy Martin?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes.
All right, we have 1D Parks and Rec discussion and approval of a rental contract fee schedule. I don't know that it's actually a rental contract. It appears that it's more the policies of the township that we would want to implement, and I think we should. Does anybody have any motion on this?
Like you say, is it going to be a rental contract, or is it going to be
Well, it's,
approving the procedure for a rental contract?
I think it's an improvement for procedure, actually.
To go forward with a rental contract. I think I kind of put out for an idea to get the process going. So if anybody has any thoughts on what else should be in the contract, if you want to send them to me, we can kind of workshop it together and come out with a real ironclad contract.
Well, it looked pretty comprehensive to me. I didn't see anything that I'd like to put into it.
The fee schedule's there, and
I do think that maybe we should consider putting a deposit down, because I did have on their bill if there was damage, but who's to say they're going to pay the bill? So if we do a deposit, at least we get something if it does come back damaged. Does anybody have a thought on that?
I would agree with that.
Where did you come up with the fee schedule? Is that, did you look up other communities
Yes.
and see that's what they charge?
Yes. So St. Clair County charges $750 to rent theirs. And then my deputy and I looked up Oakland County and New Baltimore Lions and kind of based our pricing off of that so we would be comparable. Because I've never priced a stage before, so.
Are theirs, is theirs just as new? I don't know, I haven't even paid attention to ours,
I
the
know.
bells and whistles, is it
St. Clair
more?
charges $750, and I think that that's it. I know Lance can fill us in more on the details, but ours is, $600, but there's a fee to move it.
Yes.
So it's comparable, we're a
Okay.
little bit higher.
But with us doing all the transportation and wear and tear, it will cover the cost of our DPW workers actually transporting it around.
So
Was the
moving it-
thought behind it.
So moving it from the township limits to, say, Algae limits, it would charge them $100 more?
Well, that is kind of,
Whatever it is, it is.
Outside the limits, but,
But we have to pay somebody to move it.
yeah, right. Yeah. I do like the idea of the nonprofit organizations half that price, so.
is there anything we want to change in it?
Has this been reviewed by anyone or no? Like for legal, you know, like what liabilities this takes off the township if we're,
Well, they have to have they have to have liability on it.
Is there anything about cleaning if this comes back totally filthy or anything like that? Tanya, do you know?
Not at the moment. That's why I was thinking of maybe doing a deposit down
That's not a bad idea in my
to
opinion.
have, in
in the
case,
same
you know, for
condition.
wear and tear on it, cleaning. I kind of mocked this up to get some input.
No, that's not a bad idea. I would like to see something of some sort of a deposit or anything on there for cleaning or something like that.
So I can add those things and put it back on the next agenda for old business. And if anybody else has any other thoughts, send them my way so we can kind of get like a basis down, so we can get it approved. What do we think about that?
Basically, when they rent the stage, it should be returned in the same condition that they received it. Bottom line.
That would be ideal, but you can't control other people, so.
well, I think putting that in there though would be that, and I think like a $200 cleaning deposit
Yeah,
that you'll get back upon.
It can be refundable at
Yeah.
that point, as long as it comes back clean and there's no damage to it.
Right.
Yeah, refundable cleaning.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the deposit would be, but then it also gives us the option of keeping it if something is damaged, because who's to say we loan it out to Mount Clemens and then we bill them because it's damaged, what's to say they're gonna pay the bill, and then we're stuck with not getting anything? Not saying that will happen, but it could.
Well, with a
Once we get this
contract, I mean,
changed, yeah.
they'd be breaking the contract to at that point. Paul, is there any legal aspect at that point?
I just think we can cover it with our language.
Okay.
Right, so if we send ideas my way and we can get this changed up, I just thought we should start the process, because spring is upon us.
Yeah, you got people probably going to be standing in line to rent that stage, so.
We've already had quite a few inquiries, haven't we?
Yes.
Why don't we move it to the next meeting and make a decision then?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We have a motion to table.
I will make a motion to postpone this agenda item until the next meeting.
Or
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 20, Parks and Recs discussion, approval of Parks and Recreation Director annual salary and your job description. Anybody have a feeling? I think we've been paying in the past $5,000, haven't we?
So I put this on the agenda because we have had zero interest at that rate. So I think we definitely need to discuss we're already into February, the end of February. If we want to have music in the park or anything, we need to either discuss hiring someone to hire the bands and pay them a certain wage, or raising what we're paying the Parks and Rec director, because I don't believe at this point it is a fair wage for everything that the job entails.
People have called me and I've told them, they've said they're not interested.
Right. There's been no interest
So
at
do
all.
our surrounding communities, but do we didn't
if you
know
have that
that?
$5,000 compensation out there, what's written up here for Parks and Director, the job description, is pretty extensive.
Yep.
So, I don't know who'd want to do that for $5,000 a year,
That's why I'm bringing it to you guys.
so ought to do something about that.
So I think that we should discuss raising the wage and advertise it more and see if we get interest. I know Ira pays around 14 to 15,000 for their Parks and Rec director. It's more of a part-time, which would be very similar to ours. But if anybody has any ideas, I just know we have been getting no traction on the matter.
And it's considered like a stipend at this point, isn't it? Like
Yes.
a reimbursement, it's not even like an hourly pay,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Is there a way
It's
to
just
make
like
it an
us.
hourly?
It's just like a salary.
I mean, at 5,000 a year, that's,
The only one I had was from a school employee. Did you get that
Yeah.
one too?
I had somebody say to me too, they would love to do it, but for that amount, there's no way you can dedicate that amount of time for that amount of, I mean, there is, I guess, but what reasonable
Yeah.
person
I think
wants
there's
to
a
dedicate
lot.
that?
I think it entails a lot more than what we know.
We should try to research, well, we already did a benchmark for, Paul did some of it.
Do you know anybody besides Ira, like how much the other communities in the area pay and what their expectation for hourly
14 and
is?
15 in Ira.
I know besides Ira, do we have anyone else besides Ira to compare it to?
I don't offhand right now.
Let's table it for next meeting and then get some different verbiage in here. Take some of the things out maybe.
What are you looking to take out, just so I have an idea?
Well, you have part-time, I would put in 2 days a week.
So are you looking to have them like in the office, like supply a spot for them to come into the office and
Yes.
do work?
Yeah. Yep. Should be in-house.
Because a lot of the job is going around booking bands and trying to get sponsorships and planning things. So are we going to,
Well, I can tell you that booking the bands would be very simple. It didn't take but an hour last year to book all these bands. But I used a guy who knew what he was doing. And certainly whoever takes this position, I can give them that information. And they'll know what the authority, what it would cost, and who could play and when. I can guarantee you that.
my thought with making it like part-time and having them have assigned days in the office, I don't know if the total job requires that for like an all-year thing. I think it's more like busy seasons. So to require them to come into the office and do the work, I don't think is necessarily
My thought is when you say like, come into the office, I guess in today's world, I don't actually mean like my thought isn't come sit behind the
Right.
desk, but putting in those 2 8-hour days or whatever.
Yes, like-
Whatever that looks like, say 16 hours a week or 15 hours a week or whatever that looks like. Because
put
yes,
in-
summer's busy, but so we could do a lot in the winter.
We can just put in there seasonal.
Like, it would be
I
up
don't
to the
even know.
discretion of, so we would expect music in the park and some winter activities. And for them to, I think that's why it's always been a salaried position, so they can work their own schedule to plan the things that they want planned. I don't know how we're gonna monitor if we're saying like, you have to put in 2 8-hour days. For like payroll purposes, I don't know how we would monitor that, but I think if we have put clear expectations of what we want to come out of it, like we want music in the park, we want activities going on, this is your salary, you'll get your paycheck if you perform these things type of situation.
I think it would probably be a reasonable expectation to keep the normal summer events that we have and then like a big Easter thing and a big Christmas thing like that already happens in coordination with like the church and all that. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, these are what we expect, but you can do more type of.
Yeah. But I think you're right that there needs to be a little bit higher of a base salary amount to get somebody to
that
come in
wants
here.
to do that. So what is a salary that we're thinking to have ready for the next board meeting, so we're all kind of on the same page with it?
I wonder if we could share the Park and Rec director with Algonac, or they have one, and we can share it with them, or they can do both, for scheduling bands and events. It's, and even Ira, we had one director for all 3 communities. Maybe an easier shot to get somebody to do it.
Not a bad idea. I think Cindy Babish still does IRA.
Yeah.
So are we,
Like approach her, Paul, is that what you're saying? Like reach out to her
Or
and
do-
see if she'd be willing to come on and do,
Yeah.
in addition to her stuff at IRA, come on here? But I guess, what are your thoughts on what off, because.
Like, what are we gonna
Tanya
offer
needs a
her?
number to throw
I mean-
out to her.
like, these are all great ideas to go to the other communities, but what are we offering this person? Like, what's our
Well-
portion to offer?
And where's that fund gonna come from?
Well, they can still keep their compensation
There's
from
plenty of money in
Algonac or
Parks and
IRA.
Is there,
Just
okay.
Yeah,
Still give them the $5,000.
give them just the 5, I mean, we're not even getting traction. So I think
don't
we
think-
need to,
So we would be asking if, so I'm just gonna use Cindy as an example because her name was thrown out there. But like if we reach out to her, she's already got her position and I'm constantly seeing stuff going on in IRA. So I don't think I agree with you on that, Mark, to only offer her.
I think we should
Or
match.
anyone,
Like, we should at
$5,000.
least bring to the table a match of what they are, if they're gonna do all those activities for here that she's doing there, and she, you know, if we're looking at that, having
Right,
like the
she's
same
not-
type of thing, then we should match the wage.
She's not gonna work for IRA for 14,000 and come work for Clay for 5.
Right,
That's,
that's what I'm kind of
And I don't think
trying
anybody-
to say.
right.
So I'm gonna just say, are we agreeing that maybe we offer 14 or 15,000 and post this job at a rate like that?
And Paul, you said there's plenty of money in the Parks and
I
Rec
think we have
budget that we use to
50,000
pay that? Is
budgeted.
that,
I'm pretty sure we have 50,000 in there.
is that what would use to pay that stipend?
Yes, it would come out of that budget. It would come out of the wages line. We would just have to do an amendment to the wages line,
Okay.
a budget amendment.
Double check that amount, but I think it's 50.
Well, that amount of 14, shouldn't they have some kind of experience? I mean,
Well, I think that's what we're looking at, is being able to post this job posting with a different pay amount, so people that come in and want to apply, I mean, instead of applying for something for 5,000, say 12,000.
Qualifications, you know, computer process, you know, basic office work.
You want basic office work in the job description?
Yeah. You're not very ready with computers and stuff.
What do you think?
I would,
So are we agreeing that I can put 14, do we want to do 14,000, 15,000? Does anybody want to put a motion behind that?
what do you think, Paul?
I think they'll do it. If someone like Cindy Babish would probably take it on, there may be other people at
Ordered as
14 or
up,
15,000. I know the fella from the school had background in getting, doing these sorts of things, and he may be interested at that.
can we word it into up to 15?
Yeah, why don't we do
That way we don't have
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
that's what it pays, you know, if they got,
That's a better word.
Why don't we do that?
Is somebody going to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we raise the Parks and Rec job to 15,000, up to 15,000 based on experience and applicant.
I'll support.
Sounds good. Yep.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, that's
Vote.
15,000. We have to do a roll call.
Roll call.
Well, we aren't signing the contract with them, but we'll
I mean-
do a roll call if you want. Go ahead.
All right, hold on one second. Paul Cassidy,
Yes.
Beverly Rose is not here. Roy Martin,
Yes.
Sarah Clemens,
Yes.
Mark Burchard,
Yes.
Tanya Hogan, yes.
Okay, we'll go to 1F, discussion of wastewater contract terms and service agreement. Just by way of background, we did meet with Mterra. I know Roy and Mark were both there. We discussed these new rates that I've put in everyone's box. I had hoped they had gotten them, but apparently I didn't get them out to everybody. And by way of background, Mterra has been the provider for several years now. The contract's up in March. I discussed the situation with the fellow at Terra and asked him to put in a contract form the changes or the provisions that would apply in the future. This attachment F is what he sent. I wasn't real happy with it. I will tell you that after the meeting with Terra, I contacted Priority and Waste Management. Neither one was interested in bidding the contract. I went further to make inquiry into Priority. I know I was told by city officials in West Bloomfield that they're in litigation with Priority over services and money. I know that Shelby Township's unhappy with Priority because they made certain promises they haven't kept. Chesterfield had 700 complaints against Priority last year, and New Baltimore is unhappy with them too. They didn't have any interest in bidding it, neither did Waste Management. I talked with Dan at Terra, and he said these would be the rates going forward, 26 to 31. This small provision, paragraph at the bottom would apply. Fortunately, Chris Anderson's here this morning, or this evening, and I ran it by Chris. She said that Ira was presented with the same sort of attachment extension, and they made a move to say, let's do a first amended contract and put it on the contract. If everybody's in agreement with these rates and that, I think we could have a motion to, that it would be our intent to contract in this regard. Perhaps Chris could drop the first amended contract and provisions that could be voted on at the next meeting.
Now, is there any way we can table this, Paul? Because in that meeting, the landfill is going up 28%.
What was?
The cost of the landfill
Yeah.
dumping was going up 28%. That's not on here. There was other information that we had that was given to us that's not on here. Russell's Island, the barge,
Yep, we talked about that. I agree, Roy.
and the tipping fee. So these numbers are actually inaccurate because of the hiddens. And then he also said in that meeting that he would add some dumpsters free of charge, or he did for Cotterville.
Yeah.
So if we could get that in there, if we can get him to give that, and
We could have Chris draw up the first amended agreement. Those provisions could be added. The tipping fees are separate. We don't, we pay that separately.
but we pay that through Mterra, correct?
No, we paid them.
That's not what I was given today.
But they may go up.
I personally would like to table this because I just got this information a couple hours before the meeting.
Well,
Well, it works out to 14.5%.
And this is
Well,
an
in
old,
a way,
this contract says from 21 on it, so I would like to see the actual updates in writing before we vote on anything.
and I agree, and that's why I tried to get him to do that. And he said, this is what we're going to do. And I talked to Chris, he said they said the same thing to Ira, and Ira's going to rework it, and we should rework it. Is there anything you think we should add, Chris?
Mterra did exactly the same thing in Ira Township. And it took a little while, took a little pushback, but we finally got him on the phone. I explained the difference between an addendum to the contract and a first amendment to a contract. The Schedule F is just an addendum to a contract. Your contract is still going to expire on March 31st, period, even with or without the Schedule F, the new attachment. The only way to extend the contract is by an amendment. And after several phone conferences, they finally agreed to that in IRA.
So I think maybe we should
I don't understand why
put,
their attorney told them this is the way to go, because I just sat there and thought, this is nothing.
I highly doubt their attorney told them that.
Yeah, well,
They
that's
told
what he
us the same
me.
thing. I highly doubt they did.
So what do you recommend us on this?
I would be happy to prepare a draft of First Amendment. It could be a simple draft. You guys can make changes to it as you get more information.
Chris, another thing they didn't do was break down they just put one number for the garbage, which includes the recyclables, and yet the other contract had it split. Maybe you'd want to take a look at that.
Correct,
I'd be happy
because the old contract had compost and recycling separate from then where they included, like you just said.
I'll give you
They
the
had it
contract,
split,
Chris.
and now they just combined it.
Chris, I'll give you the contract and this attachment. You know what to do.
And then what about, obviously, with this being raised on us, we gotta get some kind of plan going forward here that you're gonna be able, we gotta pay for this. You're gonna have to raise garbage rates and everything, correct? Because we probably got a year, 2 years to cover the raise increase, but then you got 3 years that,
Yeah, Russell Island's going up quite a bit, so,
Well, and then if you would, do the math on this, it doesn't equate to what we already,
yeah.
this will exceed what everybody already pays already.
so Russell's Island was going up 32%, and the mainland was going up 14%. And the mainland on this contract is Harson's Island and mainland. Where it says island on this, that is Russell's Island.
I think it was before I was up here on the board, but wasn't there talk about sending this out to bid?
Not really, because that's why I went anyway and spent my time talking to other providers, and they're not, I asked,
I know, I think you suggested it a long time ago at a meeting. I guess my question is, why wasn't that done?
Well,
That would have had to be
I
done
made
before
inquiry.
the 120 days.
well, that doesn't apply to this. But I would tell you that I talked to Priority, asked them if they
Yeah.
want to bid it. Base manager, do you want to bid it? Neither one got back to me.
So they didn't get back to you, or they said they didn't want
They
to?
never got back to me.
So we really
And I
don't know.
talked to the appropriate people that are in charge of it.
Well, you said they didn't get back to you, though, so I guess I'm confused. Did they not get back to you, or?
They didn't get back to me. I asked
So we
them
don't
if-
really know, because they didn't respond. I mean, I guess that can be taken as a response,
I
but
guess if
it's,
I asked them, do you want to bid on this, and they never get back to me that.
could that be because it wasn't sent in, the formal
I gave
process?
them, they had the paperwork for
well,
bidding.
here's my thought. Why, we're in a situation now where our contract is expiring, and there is stipulations in our contract where we have to provide 120 days notice.
That's not right. You are wrong.
That's what it says in
It
our,
says it right
It
here.
does. It says that in 2023. I read the contract the first day I came into office, and I read it, and your interpretation is incorrect.
that is
What
what
is
the
it?
contract says.
Well,
It does for 2023 for the next 2 years.
Okay, so-
It doesn't say that will continue forever thereafter.
Okay, so how much time do we have now?
Well, now they say, well, listen, if you're worried about the 120 days, and they said at our meeting, they weren't going to hold anybody to the 120 days.
Well, just because they say something and what they actually
Well,
do
I'm
is two different
Just
things.
going to tell you that it doesn't apply. But they said,
But
well...
you're
this-
just saying it doesn't apply. They didn't meet with all of us and tell us that it doesn't apply. They
I'm
only met
telling
with a
you it
handful.
doesn't apply. I can read a contract and understand it, and it does not apply. Trust me.
And you make it a little hard when you don't hand out information until 3 hours before a meeting.
I gave this to you 3 weeks ago.
You did
when I
not
gave
give
you
me
that
the
contract.
updated pages to the contract, and
remember
I
that
wasn't in the
conversation?
meeting.
I
There
think-
was no conversation because there's never a conversation with you.
Well, now you're not talking the truth.
Okay.
Because I came into your office and I said it was
You said, "Put this on the
Thursday morning,
agenda."
I'd like to put it on the agenda, and I
Okay.
gave you, and you said it's too late for this meeting. I said, here it is, I was waiting for this document to
And when
put
did
it
you
on
get
the
the
agenda,
document?
and I gave it to you along with the contract.
You did not give me that document
I knew
along
you
with
would
the
say that.
contract
I
because
knew
it's
you
not
would say
on here.
that,
Well, you're
Tanya.
sitting up here lying
No,
because that was
that's you
sitting
lying.
in the,
Can I interject? I just want to know at this point, if we're struggling with all these increases, and you're saying they didn't want to bid, but really it's they didn't respond, so we don't know, why can't we make
You
a
can put it out for
motion?
bid, but remember what Tara told us, right, Roy? Right? right, Roy? And,
What did they,
Mark? They
I,
said, these will not be our numbers if we're going out to bid. Now, that's what
well, I
they
guess
told
it should have been
us, right?
sent out to bid months ago
He
by
said
our
they-
supervisor.
In any event, whether we agree or disagree, and regardless what the truth is, you want to have Chris do a First Amendment or not?
Well, I like Roy's idea of having this tabled while Chris can write up the First Amendment. We can review it at the next meeting, like we talked about, and then make a decision from there. I don't think any of
agree.
us with just this, as Ms. Anderson said, this is not really anything. This is just
I would really like
So-
to
an
see
attachment.
a refusal on the bid or no bid or something like that, or sending out a formal request for quote to, to those guys. and
Well, I think it should have already been done. That's the problem.
I think what
Well,
we
it's
need to
not
do
a
is
problem.
make a motion to table this till we get all the numbers from Dan, which I actually spoke to Dan today because I did not receive this same paper that was in my mailbox until today. So he emailed me this at noon because I didn't have the numbers from the meeting
He
because
gave
I was
that
short.
to- He gave us
Yeah,
that.
I didn't get a copy of that, remember, everyone's short.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that if we table this, have Christine with these numbers because Dan had said he would help out or add a couple dumpsters to the cleanups. That was not added in here. And then just so everybody's aware of how much the increase in the landfill and the increase of these rates are, that way, going forward, we know how to prepare to raise the rates of the garbage pickup.
Everybody in agreement? We have a motion?
I'll make a motion to table the waste garbage disposal until next meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Move to Algae Wheel discussion. I've spoken the history of this several times. It was a job that was never put out for public bid.
Can I ask why that never was put out to public bid?
Ask that prior board and they'll tell you.
Well, no, I've
I
done
can tell
research.
you
Hold
this.
on, it was because PCE was 3 weeks from putting it out to bid when you came in here and said stop.
No, you're wrong.
That's
You're wrong.
what the owner,
This 4 years ago, when Kevin Hertel got $2 million of ARPA funds, nobody put it out for public bid. They just said, PC, go ahead and start doing your engineering. That was never put out for
Okay.
public bid. They had an open checkbook, which they went and did their engineering and charged money. By the time I got into office, this $2 million had now gone to $6.6 million. And that's when I told John Monty to stop.
but if nothing was ever sent out for bid, do we have actual numbers or just,
This is what John Monty told me. Our engineer said it's now going to cost you $6.6 million.
okay,
So I said, stop. That's crazy. You're going to get 17 taps at about $475,000 a tap, which the taps even today are pretty expensive. And I told him to stop. Well, then Bennett came in and said, we'll do it, and we'll guarantee that we'll do it for the amount of money that's left. So I asked Bennett to get me a contract.
which was, yeah, I
They
know.
sent the contract, and it was just a boilerplate engineering contract.
I know.
I said, this does nothing for us. We got a contract with 2 other sources now. They said they were doing turnkey operations. That's what their contract said. So I said, why don't you do a joint venture? Why don't the 3 of you, DVM, Algae Wheel, and Bennett get together? Do a joint venture. Well, Bennett tells me that would take $250,000 more money. Well, So now, Mr. Schweikart and Mr. Combs, who have just worked their rears off on this, came up and now have Garland that's willing to do it for what's left. And what I think we should do is if they propose a contract that gives us what we need to do this algae treatment plant, to satisfy the DEQ and whatever, any construction guidelines, that we go ahead and do it. But let's face it, okay? I can ask somebody to build this place, right? And they could build on a texture 111, put concrete floor, not bother putting any windows in. We're in a spot here where we can't sit there with a defined building or anything like that and say, this is what everybody's going to bid on. Those days are past. We can't do it.
I would like to suggest, because I'm in support, and I think a lot of us are in support of this, that we schedule a workshop so we can sit together in a room and get this hashed out.
Why not here tonight? We have both our lawyers here. We have everybody here tonight. Why not now?
Yeah, and I will say, Chris, you're
Do
here.
you have a
came to
contract
speak on this,
do they have a
correct?
contract to present right now with all?
When I think we wanted Algae Wheel present, we want all of the
Get
parties.
Algae Wheel present here at this.
I also think
They've been here
PCE
3
needs to be
times.
here because the reality is that whether anyone's happy with them or not happy with them, we've spent a lot of money with PCE, I think, before any of us were up here, to build this and to work this for multiple years, and what are we gonna just throw that away?
A little bit of
No,
history
we have their
here.
work product. We have their work product.
Can I-
Plus, the problem is it's drawn so much bigger because the wizard wanted to make it bigger,
Who's the wizard?
Okay.
Mr. Bryson.
So,
Well, I think that's really disrespectful to sit up here. and do
I
that.
agree.
That's-
It was meant to be.
When I hear this,
so listen, what we really need is a quote from Gartland or DVM on finishing the job, because PC actually said that they can finish it, okay? Based
When
on,
did they say that?
based on a smaller size or based on the bigger size.
When did
Okay,
they
I
say
spoke
that?
with them, I
stand
both-
up there. so-
Hold on
I
a minute,
spoke with them
Bruce.
last week.
Bruce, you
So-
spoke with
so
them
they-
last week?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell anybody?
Same reason why we don't get told nothing, Paul.
there's reasons
The last
why.
email
There are
that,
Well, I went down there and talked to them.
Bruce, I have a
didn't-
question for you.
anybody
Do
could've
they
went down
have
there
a
and talked to them.
contract with pricing ready to
We brought
go?
a contract with all 3 bonded, it wasn't under a single, so we brought in Garland. All 3
Yeah.
were willing to do it for the money that was left. All 3 contractors would have signed it and bonded to finish it. Getting back to your point, PCE, when they showed up, back when they said 3 more weeks to send out for an engineering, Paul didn't just tell them to stop, all the businesses did. It was $647,000 per tap that he was going to have it done.
who's in control of the money on this project?
You.
Okay, so Paul is the man to make the decisions, not the business
You're
owners.
absolutely right, because he
board
he
does.
made the decision.
Yes,
Well,
this
here-
board has it, but we don't get nothing.
When we had a meeting with Senator Patel, all the business owners, John Monty, everybody was at the meeting. You weren't on the board yet.
Correct.
And they said 647,000. Even if Paul would have said yes, we would have said no, because that's a stupid amount of money. And for the big project, they were astronomical. I don't even know what the number was, 19 to 20 million. And this is just for 12 taps. Whoever said 16, it was 12 taps equaling out 647,000 per tap. After that, that was right after Paul took office. Then it came up to March. He had a revised plan, still huge. Then we asked him for plans to do it for the $2 million. 9 months later, you guys were all here at that point. He kept saying 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Then he offered to bid against Benich, asked for another 3 weeks, and then they never showed up. The day before the meeting, he backed out. Because we would have been perfectly happy with PCE.
So what, the last email that I had received on this was Benish backed out of their contract, that they fired Anthony, and they backed out of their contract.
Anthony started his own company.
So as the board is moving forward, we have a workshop. You can't say this guy can do it for $2 million. You don't operate that. The township cannot operate that way. We need to have it with you, with everybody that's involved in this. And then the whole board here, not just one person, has to be involved in it, so we know what's going on.
What haven't we brought? Benich has
I've
been
told
here
everybody
3
at
times,
every meeting
done
what's been going
presentations.
on.
You have.
Algae Wheel has
I
been
have.
here 3
So-
times, done
I
presentations.
have.
When did you talk about the new engineer? Who's the new engineer?
We talked about that at the last meeting, didn't we?
He mentioned it at.
I wasn't here at the last meeting, so obviously,
All right, but I've not been told, it's just Bruce brought it up I'm sorry, yeah, just brought it up that you now have a new engineer.
Can I-
Come on up here and.
Can I just want to say too, so I want to clear the air, because I am 110% in support of this Algae Wheel project, but it needs to make sense. It needs to make sense for, can I finish, please? Please don't. It needs to make sense, not just for the bar, it needs to make sense for everybody. I love the island. I love your bar. One of my best friends works there, okay? I want this to work for you guys. I want this to work for the residents. I want it to work for everyone. I know at the end of the meeting, it might have even been after the meeting, you were talking up here to John, you talked about a new engineer, but that's all we've heard about it. If you give Mr. Cassidy something in writing since those meetings, none of us have received it. So to come to a meeting today to discuss this, which is great, let's talk about it. I love the idea of sitting down for a table discussion, but we can't just come up here and be like, let's make a decision without, we're being presented with a new engineering firm, a new contractor, a new all this, but all it's been, I have seen nothing that these people are willing to do or provide. I don't have any documentation. I have nothing to go off other than what you've said and what was said tonight.
Our attorney hasn't even reviewed
That's a
anything and got
problem.
back to us. Do you recommend we move forward with what information we have?
He can't.
The attorney?
We need
Right.
a contract from Garland saying this is what we'll do.
What about Eagle? What about Eagle though? Because if this is the downsize
We've
plant,
already got approvals from
for the
Eagle.
bigger plant,
No, for the
plant.
smaller plant, we have the discharge rates is what we have. It doesn't matter what size plant. And when you guys say you haven't seen anything, this is 4 years, we've had everybody in this room multiple times.
I'm
and
talking
nothing's
about
been-
now, what you just presented 2 weeks
Bruce,
ago
the
about
only,
bringing
the
in new
last contract
companies.
we have
can't-
seen is the one from Benish that we could not vote on that. We could not, that contract was
We-
missing a
and
ton.
solve that
So
We
what
don't
we
even know if the
need,
money's there.
but what we need,
Let me interject or something. Would
Yeah,
you
the money's
please-
another-
Would you please just cut this short and get us a quote by him or some other contractor, have them come to us, not you, not Bruce, okay?
that's
Have
why
them
we
come
should
to
do a
us. Have
workshop
them
so
come to
they can
us
come and we can have a
and give
contract
us-
to review.
And give us the stuff, and maybe we can get PCE to give you some of the design work that they had, they're probably willing to do that. But anyways, we need a quote before we can even move on. And number
And here's
two, the property where it's at, Eagle refused it because it's a wetland. Now we're out there looking for spending $10,000 on some other property to trade off.
No.
No, that was when
We
the
got past that a long
the
time,
$10,000,
2 years ago.
yeah, the $10,000 was when Mr. Gulka and Mr. Cassidy went out looking for new property. That's what that $10,000 for a
Well, I
different
know, but they
location.
declined it.
No,
No.
we didn't need it then.
But
Now
here's,
that's
can
the way
I
the
express,
wetlands is.
I have one more concern, and it's about the 2 million that we were awarded through Hertel's office, because the 2 million original grant that we got, because from November of '24 until January of '26, the township was not compliant with the MEDC grant reporting.
It is now.
But that doesn't matter. So
We're on probation.
we're basically on probation with them. Will we likely see that money? Yes. Are they gonna be in a rush to give it to us? No, they're not. And we're waiting on confirmation from Hertel's office to verify that we're actually still going to get that, because we defaulted for over 14 months. And unfortunately, that is Mr. Cassidy's statutory duty, and it wasn't done.
And it's-
So now we don't know, and because myself, Bev Rose, we've reached out to Hertel's office hoping we would have had an answer by today. We didn't get one, to see if
From
they're,
Hertel's office, I can show you my emails
right,
and my...
to see if
my
they're still
text
gonna
messages
give us the rest of the
They
money.
will give us the rest of the money. I cannot talk to Ms. Blackmere, who is the one who actually holds the money, because she will only deal with elected officials. I have 6 emails to her, several calls, and it took Senator Twelfliner to send me an email saying she can't talk to me, she can only talk to one of you guys. That could be any one of you.
So,
And as far as the board members, I've given you guys, I'm gonna leave you 2 out of it, but everybody else sitting there has had all the numbers to call. I sat down there and I get one board member saying, I'm not calling Bennett. That whole list of numbers of completed plants and that, there was not a Bennett number on there. It was municipalities and plants that were built that are similar to this that have passed. We keep covering the same ground. If you don't understand, you understand that this board guaranteed us this would be done, not this personnel, but this board, November of '24, it would be done, not be working on it. And to say frustration, this is unbelievable. Then I bring Garland into it. He's willing to sign a contract, he's bonded to cover it, sign the contract with him, and he can work out the deal.
We can't sign a contract that we don't have and haven't seen.
We need you to lead. I thought we filled out all the slots before with Benich, DVM.
And Benich
last
admitted a
contract from-
contract that was not okay for us to sign. It was missing a ton of important information. We don't know how much this is going to cost in the long run. We don't know how much it's going to cost to run every single year. They had so many blanks in there that we could not sign that contract. Bring us a contract that is workable and feasible for the township, and we want to support it.
We need a construction agreement.
So what?
That's what I'm trying to do.
That's what we're asking for. The board, and I'll speak on behalf of the board, including Paul, if we have a workshop, we need all this information as a board, so our attorney can review what we have and where we are as a board going forward. I can't help what they did prior to us. I wasn't here. We need to know going forward, and I get time as assessments, but here you are, we need answers before we can even move forward. And I get what you're doing, you're grabbing straws of who you can get to cover and do this project. We need, and you're leaving open ends all over the place. Us as a board, we're gonna have to be the project manager to oversee what is going on with your engineers, your contractors, not you, Bruce.
Him.
That's what.
Yes, this board has to be in contact with him if that's who we're hiring.
Yeah.
And his plan forward, you don't even know what he's building. He could put a septic tank above ground on it and say that's what he did. We don't know that. We're going off of what they tell you.
How about just this simple? One, they don't get their last payment if they can't meet Eagle criteria.
And that does no good. We need a plan. There's no plan on this project, none whatsoever.
Okay, doing it from my point of view, that we had PC involved for 3 years of the 4 years this has been going. When I couldn't do it, it needed this township board to do it because it's a Part 41, it's a public plant, I can't do it. We couldn't use the right-of-ways, and we couldn't leave a second person. And something just to make it real clear, this isn't about San Souci Bar. We could have fixed our own problem a long time ago. This is to bring the whole town in. And we brought the people here so you could question them each time. They've all been, DVM has been sitting here, Algae Wheel has been sitting here multiple times. Now we're back to the same thing I was hearing in 2023.
I get that, Bruce, and I understand that. You gotta understand, myself as a board member, probably with Sarah, no one has anything on this Algae Wheel other than what you presented at a
We
meeting.
asked, when Benich wanted to do their feasibility study, we asked PCE for their information, because we haven't even got a survey from them throughout this process. They would not turn it over. I've been asking Paul since the October 14th meeting to get me work product from PCE to give to the engineer.
So right, exactly there's what we need a workshop for.
After 3 years, what has PCE given you to take this forward? Do you have a plan on the plan?
I have nothing. I have what you, that's why we need a workshop to move
The
forward.
board's the one who hired PCE to do it.
And you want us to move forward and we keep throwing money out, you can't do that. You have to have a plan. The board needs a plan from start to finish and not say, okay, we got 1.3 million left. Can you do it for that? Sure. Anybody can tell you that. You don't go look for workers
I
to.
can show you the emails, because I did bring my iPad, and Senator Hertel, the other thing you can do is just, we've tried not to do this, but he's gonna ask for the money back, and we'll give it to the nonprofit and take the township out of it. But just make that decision then.
The board wants to move forward with it, with a workshop and move forward so we can put a plan together for you guys to have it done.
Sir, how soon could you get us a proposal?
Is PCE willing to come back on?
No, I have
That
all
would have to be at a-
PCE stuff. I've been asking for months. They finally sent it to me today. I can give you their engineering, but most of it's gonna be DVM anyway. You gotta talk with DVM, because they're the ones that bid the underground.
Yeah, the engineering is.
Wouldn't it?
See, this gentleman's saying he can do it for what's left, and he has no idea what engineering has to say with the project. That's what we need a workshop for.
That way you guys have to deal with us, and we deal with the trades and oversee the project.
What I'm gonna do as a board, I'm gonna make a motion that we schedule a date to move forward as a workshop, all parties involved here, so we can get this figured out to take this and move it forward.
I second.
Support.
I agree. I mean, it's because they're
Any
going to be
further
dealing.
I would like it
discussion?
before the next meeting.
They'll be dealing with Garland Construction and not you
I guess.
and anybody.
How soon
We
can you
want
get
Bruce at
us-
the
I
workshop.
understand,
Right.
but I'm saying, like, you guys would be dealing directly.
Is this
Us as
something
a
that we
board
can get
has to know
scheduled within the
everything that-
next 2 weeks? Like, will you be able to have,
After March 9th, because I'm out of town for a business.
okay. So after March 9th, you need it to be scheduled?
And then make sure Christine can be there also.
I think we need to have all
Are
the
you able
players.
to give me your contact information so I can get the date set up, so I can get it posted in ample time?
Take a vote. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Can I
Public comment?
can I just make one more comment about the Algae Wheel stuff?
Donnie, I'll go to my truck and get it.
Sure.
Thank you.
I only want to say this because we did receive a whole lot of letters of support with this, and one of the big claims in it was that there's $700,000 of misallocated funds for this project. And I just want to let everybody know where the money actually is, because there's $397,437 in standing credit with Algae Wheel and Silberg Knolls for actual plant parts. Approximately $280,000 went to engineering and the permitting process with Eagle. $20,000 was spent on contract proposal and design with Benish. And then approximately $10,000 went to spend on a review to find an alternate location for the Algae Wheel that was not founded. So I just wanted to make it clear that none of that money is misallocated or not accounted for.
The
It's
allocated part was that we got it from the board, we come here and you say, oh, you can't sole source, the lawyer says no sole source. My understanding is your lawyer says that's not even true. Our lawyer said it wasn't true. But you sole source with PCE and you sole source with Algae Wheel with never asking anybody, because there's plants that could have been put there day one that they can just hand you. Go to Hubble, Roth, and Clark, they literally can bring a plant in that's finished and set on the property. But this township board gave the money to Algae Wheel. Now we're locked with Algae Wheel as an unproven thing in Michigan. So it is a hard thing to find companies who want to do engineering on it.
That's why we need a workshop, Bruce, so we as a board, understand and move forward. You understand, we got to make sure the money's here to move it forward, on top of all that information. That's what we want a workshop for, so we can work with you, get everybody on the same page on where we're going with this, to move it forward.
As far as workshop, I just look at, we've had 3 where we've had everybody in this room talk to the board to get it done. And we keep hearing from the board at that time, we can't sole source, which you've already done. You can't move to a different engineer, which I can't stress enough. I have nothing against John Monty, but $280,000 to come up with $647,000 per tab, and give him another 10 months without a piece of paper.
Okay,
And he
well,
added, if you look on your bills, there's $70,000 to come up with absolutely nothing.
let's move on to public comment. Anybody have a public comment?
Good evening, Chair and board members. My name is Chuck Kukofka. I'm president of the Harson's Island St. Clair Flats Association, and I'm also a resident, of course, of Harson's Island. I'm just here in support of every party getting together to try to make this work. It sounds like you're in the process of doing that, but I had a full presentation, but I'm not going to read it because most of it was covered. But I just want to say we appreciate your support. It sounds like you're all in agreement. You want to support it. You just need to get the right mechanisms to make it happen. So thank you so much, and we look forward to it actually happening. Thank you so much.
Gave you everything you wanted.
Didn't get a chance earlier. I just wanted to address the board real quick and give you an update and discuss. I was not able to be at the last board meeting, and at that meeting, there were some misleading context that came forth to the board.
Bruce.
And that would have been in regards to the vehicles.
Bruce.
The vehicles that we are currently outfitting, and especially the question of bringing back Mr. Cope in order to help us out with these, because he's been doing them with us for close to 30 years. Just so the board knows, and I want to update you, that the total amount of hours that he will be compensated is 143 hours, which is just under $5,000, not $25,000, which was brought to your attention. So I want to make you aware of that and understand that by us doing what we do right here alone, probably saves the township between $30,000 and $40,000. So kind of where we're sitting, but if you had any questions, I'm happy to answer any of them for you.
I'm sure he'll do a good job, as he always has.
Absolutely. So, just wanted to make sure I made a correction there and brought you the accurate information, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further comment? Being none, we'll move to board member comments. Ms. Clements?
I just want to reiterate that I don't live on the island. But I love the island. I've lived in this area my whole life, and I want you guys, the San Souci area, the whole island, to benefit from this project. I truly do. I've watched it really since, maybe not the first year, but I've watched it the last 3 years, and I want to see it happen for you guys. I think everybody on the island deserves it. I just want it to make sense for everybody. So there's that. I know there's been so much crud on social media these last couple weeks, and there's been so much, I hate to put it, just fear-mongering and false information that's been put out there in regards to like our sewer treatment plant and all of that, and I just would encourage people that are maybe watching the recording of this, or the people that are here, come to the meetings like you do, email us, come talk to us. We'll get you the facts. Just stop believing everything that's posted on social media all the time, because for whatever reason, a lot of false information is being put out there about these projects, and it's creating a lot of chaos when chaos doesn't need to be created. That's all. Everybody have a great couple weeks till we see you again.
Roy?
Yes, I'm in full support of the Algae Wheel with you guys, but you come here and ask us to vote on something that we don't have information on as a board, that's hard for us to do without having all details. And also, last meeting I wasn't here, they claimed there was an allegation made from one of the residents, said that I took money out of DDA to pay for a sign. That never happened. I've never taken $1 out. Yes, I do sit on DDA. I've never used any of that money for my own business, which that's what that money's there for. I never did. I leave it for other places that may need that. Other than that, I have a...
Ms. Hovind?
I just want to say, I think this workshop is going to give us a lot of answers so we can move forward and get this Algae Wheel underway. So I'm glad we can make that happen, and I will do my best to schedule this as quickly as possible for all of you residents. And that's about it.
Planning Commission, this Wednesday, we'll be reviewing a site plan for 5280 Point Trumbull, proposed amendments to the ordinances and certification of the master plan. And just to say something about the Algae Wheel, I've been going over to the island ever since I moved up here, and that's been almost 50 years ago. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I'll do what I can to get this thing rolling down the road, but pardon this expression, we've been beating a dead horse for 4 years. And this workshop is the thing to do to get it straightened out and for the final solution. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
We're adjourned.